Hi, it's Lucy here. How are you going this weekend? I hope you're having a nice and relaxing time. It's really important to take time to nurture ourselves and de-stress, regroup, and reconnect with our natural state of peace, our natural state of joy and unconditional love. And here's a little meditation that will help you do that. I call it the look of love or the gaze of peace. And it's a truly beautiful and powerful meditation that you can do to really return you to your natural state of peace, of joy, and of love. And it only takes you a minute to do. So I do hope you will give yourself a chance to enjoy this little gift that you can do so effortlessly. Now, you can do this exercise either with somebody else or with your pet, or as I've mentioned in my post, you can do it with anything really, your car, your garden, anything with which you would like to reconnect in a beautiful, in a deep, in a natural and profound way, cutting through all the barriers that we have built up in our relationship with that person or that thing, barriers that are imbued with things like fear and anger or hatred or whatever else that we tend to relate with other people or things with. Now, the key to this exercise is maintaining a sense of softness, really allowing yourself to sit in a soft state. Okay, so this is really the key to this exercise. Now, before I actually outline to you exactly what you do, I just want to remind you of a few things, and these are things that you do need to keep in mind as you do the exercise. When I guide people through the exercise for the first time, they often assume that what they're going to have to do is to start sending each other positive thoughts of love and peace and joy and so on and so forth. Well, actually you don't have to. In fact, that's one thing that you really must not do. You really cannot send love and joy and peace to another person, because by nature that's who or what we are. All of us, without exception, that is our true default nature. That's our true default state. So it's impossible really to send love and peace and healing and so on to another person. But what is important, what we need to do, is to be able to hold ourselves in that natural state of peace and joy. And by holding ourselves in that peace, in that state of peace and joy, everything else falls away. All the barriers that we have built up fall away. So this is what's key, to be able to simply sit softly in our natural state, forget about sending positive thoughts and good vibes and so on and so forth. So that's one thing. The other thing to remember to do is that when you sit and look at the other person or the other thing with love, or using the gaze of peace, you're not going to try and psychoanalyze them. You're not going to try and interpret their behaviors or the movement of their eyes or whatever. You're not going to try and interpret anything. You're just going to focus on gazing softly. That is all you need to do. Okay? So please keep this in mind. Now, as I said, the exercise is so simple. It'll take you 1 minute, and this is how you go. Find the person, sit in front of them, facing them, and make sure that you're comfortable. Close your eyes and start to take some very deep, slow, soft and gentle breaths. Okay? Enjoy the movement of air in your body. It should be completely effortless. But nonetheless, you will begin to feel a shift in the space that you're occupying within yourself. Okay, deep, soft, gentle breaths. And then, when you've done a few of these, slowly and softly open your eyes. And here it is. Rest your gaze. Simply rest your gaze on the eyes of the other person. And if you're using an animal, or if you're focusing on something, an object, then simply allow your gaze to rest more globally on that person, on that thing. You're not looking at anything in particular, you're not looking for anything, you're simply resting your gaze very softly on that person. Okay, and that's all you have to do for a minute. That's all you have to do. So, leave your gaze resting softly on the other person or the other thing. What tends to happen is that the mind, because it's so conditioned, to evaluate, to judge, to interpret and so on, will start doing these things. As soon as you become aware that that's what's happening, just bring your mind back, just bring your focus back to gazing softly. That's all you need to do. Okay? It's really simple. Every time you notice that your mind has become engaged in interpreting and judging and so on, bring it back to focusing softly on the other person or thing, gazing softly on the other person or thing. So try this out. Let me know how you go. I'd love to hear what your experience has been, and leave me a comment. If you happen to have a question, feel free to include that question in your comment or send me an email. Okay, have a wonderful evening. I'm sorry, or morning, or whatever time of day it is for you. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll talk to you later.